Trump's NLRB and what we all need to do. WTF is next. Hello, I'm Mark Harrison. The National Labor Relations Board is an independent federal agency vested with the power to safeguard employees' rights to organize and to determine whether to have unions as their bargaining representative. And the agency also acts to prevent and remedy unfair labor practices committed by private sector employers and unions. So, what exactly has this independent body formed by Congress in 1935 to administer the National Labor Relations Act done under the Trump administration so far? Well, it refused to raise the 10-year-old minimum wage to $7.25 an hour. And no, that's not for teenagers. Are you really going to try to tell me that Congress enacted a law in the 1960s because they cared about how much teenagers earned on their paper routes or as babysitters? No. The NLRB also has substantially reduced the number of workers eligible for overtime pay. It has also issued executive orders making it easier to fire federal workers, thus weakening their union. As well, it has completely failed to achieve the $4,000 raise that the president pledged his tax cut for the wealthy would provide. And there, of course, is much more than that. Believe it or not, the board was created in 1935 to encourage unionization by formalizing rules by which workers could organize without taking part in sit-ins and walkouts and general disruptions of thousands of workplaces by millions of workers. A time that saw businesses losing so much money they were begging for ways to find labor peace. Now, instead, we find workers being illegally fired on a regular basis for union organizing activities and being asked to sign employment contracts that state they will not get involved in union organizing activities. All of those things are illegal, by the way, but no one is currently enforcing the laws. You know, we get at least one reach out a week here at TLN by small groups of people who have tried to make life better for themselves by following the rules of organizing, only to be fired with no means to support themselves or bring a lawsuit. And that's because Trump's appointees have spent their careers as attorneys representing corporations against unions and workers in general. The general counsel for that agency, Peter Robb, was the key player in helping President Ronald Reagan fire the air traffic controllers in 1981 and decertifying their union at that time. An error that is widely considered to have sent a signal to corporations that replacing striking workers was okay with the highest office in the land, and they haven't looked back since. So let's go back to something I said a moment ago. In the 1930s, workers were so busy disrupting corporations that the corporations were begging for help to organize unions in a codified way. That was workers en masse exercising their collective voice through actions to make things better for themselves. Unions or not, they all worked together. Do we see what we need to do? I hope so. I'm Mark Harrison. Have a good weekend, everyone.